Imagine spending hours in a small kitchen, meticulously preparing a 5-course banquet of roasted meats and rich sauces, only to box it all up and sit down alone in front of the television with a frozen, low-calorie microwave dinner. That repetitive cycle is the daily baseline for a woman living on a quiet corner in New Orleans. She works hard, she is deeply kind, and she possesses immense culinary talent. Her name is Georgia Bird, brought to the screen by Queen Latifah in the 2006 film Last Holiday. This diagram illustrates exactly what Georgia is experiencing, the frequency of scarcity. As you can see, she has a massive wave of potential, but a heavy, restrictive self-image presses down on that wave, compressing it into a tiny, flat-line pulse. She operates under the assumption that she does not deserve to take up space or enjoy the fruits of her own creation. When an individual harbors a deep-seated feeling of unworthiness, they effectively create a vibratory prison that keeps their own talents at arm's length. Georgia documents her unlived life in what she calls the Book of Possibilities. It is a scrapbook where she meticulously glues photos of European resorts she has never visited, evening gowns she has never worn, and meals she has never tasted. Treating a scrapbook like a vision board often backfires. By locking desires in a glowing node on the right side of the timeline, the future, the individual unintentionally reinforces a present state of lack. This creates a barrier of vibratory procrastination, ensuring the 2 points never touch. The narrative breaks this barrier with a blunt instrument, a medical misdiagnosis. Georgia is told she has a terminal condition and 3 weeks left to live. Believing she has nothing left to lose shatters her resistance. The fear of judgment and the anxiety over exactly how her goals will materialize completely evaporate. The timeline collapses, and her future desire merges directly on top of her present state. By removing the possibility of a long-term future, Georgia is forced to exist entirely in the now, effectively ending her habit of deferring her own happiness. Georgia immediately cashes out every cent of her life savings and leaves Louisiana for the Grand Hotel Pup, a luxury resort in the Czech Republic. The cinematic architect behind this massive environmental shift is director Wayne Wang. He uses this dramatic change in scenery to mirror an equally massive shift in Georgia's internal state. The framework Wang employs here aligns with Neville Goddard's law of assumption. Georgia bypasses the standard fake-it-until-you-make-it platitudes. She simply withdraws her request for permission to be important and moves straight into the feeling of the wish already being fulfilled. She demands the presidential suite, buys a wardrobe of designer clothes, and walks into the dining room with total dignity. She has moved past wanting a vacation to simply being the vacation. This illustrates a core mechanical principle. The universe responds to the frequency of what an individual assumes themselves to be, rather than the intensity of what they desire. Compare Georgia's energy with the hotel's other guests, senators and tycoons trapped in a cycle of defensive posturing and power games. Their wealth is high, but their internal state is one of constant friction and insecurity. Georgia operates in a state of pure, unbothered flow. Because she believes she is dying, she no longer filters her thoughts or hides her personality to fit in. This flow state has an immediate magnetic effect. She draws the attention of Chef Didier and the curious elite guests without any effort or active networking. Her magnetism originates from a total lack of internal resistance. Giving up the struggle to control her outcome allows her natural abundance to surface. When you stop exhausting energy on social performance, that reclaimed power creates the magnetic pull we see in Georgia's transformation. This lack of pretense allows for the highest level of attraction. Once an internal frequency shift is sustained, the external physical universe begins to reorganize itself to match that new reality. Back in New Orleans, we see the ripple effect reach Sean Williams, Georgia's longtime coworker, played by LL Cool J. In her previous state, their connection failed because her scarcity mindset repelled the very things she wanted. Now that Georgia has elevated her baseline, she attracts the love that was always sitting right in front of her. Then, the narrative reveals that Georgia's medical chart was swapped. She is perfectly healthy. This diagram shows the mechanics of that plot twist. The bottom sluggish wave represents her old life of limitation. The bright top wave is her new frequency. Stabilized at this higher state, the old reality is deflected and disintegrates, literally incompatible with her new signature. Outdated realities of lack or limitation simply cannot survive in the presence of a permanently altered internal state. Georgia Bird's journey relies on a specific sequence. She traded vibrational procrastination for total detachment and replaced social performance with radical, appreciative presence. Georgia's shift translates into ownership. She opens her own restaurant, builds a life with Sean, and physically steps into the dreams she used to glue onto paper. The universe is inherently abundant. It is quietly waiting for you to make the decision to treat life like a banquet. Are you currently hiding your best talents, your boldest ideas, and your deepest desires in a metaphorical book of possibilities, saving them for a someday that never arrives? What is the very first step you can take to stop deferring your existence and book the vacation in your own life today? Manifestation operates on the decision to rip off the discount price tag society assigned to you and assume your true worth.